Well, we have here Walgreens buckling under the political pressure of these attorneys general, conservative attorneys general, representing conservative states, but states where abortion is still legal. And they are saying to Walgreens and other pharmacies around the country, no, you cannot follow the guidelines of the FDA, which says that it is safe and effective to receive medication abortion without making a separate trip to the doctor's office. So they're using political pressure in order to deny health care to people who need it, and that's ridiculous. And it's outrageous. And of course, as you're pointing out, Alicia, this is coming as we await the decision of this extreme Trump-appointed judge in Texas that is on the verge, we fear, of denying access to medication abortion, which would basically make roughly half of the legal abortions in this country unavailable to women.
Let's stay with what's happening in Texas, because as I keep reminding our audience, yes, it is a judge in Texas who is going to issue this ruling, but it is not only going to impact people in Texas. That would be devastating on its own. Talk to me. I mean, how are you explaining this to folks in Minnesota about what it is going to mean for them if this ruling comes down and he bans this drug?
Well, this federal judge, who, as you said, is a known anti-abortion proponent, he was an anti-abortion activist before he was appointed to the federal court in Texas. What he is doing is hearing a case that would say that medication abortion should be banned in the entire United States, not just in Texas, but in the entire United States. And as you said at the beginning, over half of abortions in this country, those now happening in states where abortion is still legal, over half of those abortions are conducted through medication abortion, which has been safe and effective for over 20 years. So this would have devastating impacts on what is already a crisis for women who are seeking access to legal abortion care.
You recently wrote a letter to AG Garland urging the Justice Department to appeal the Texas abortion case if it undermines medication access. I wonder if you have heard back and if you're hopeful that the AG will act on your request.
Well, I want to say that I am really very pleased with how strongly the Biden administration has used all of the tools at its disposal to protect and defend women's right to reproductive health care. My goal with this letter was to make sure that the Attorney General knew how important I think it is, and millions of women think it is, that he is ready to take action immediately if this court case by Judge Kaczmarek comes out as we fear. Because when that happens, there is a risk that medication abortion would be immediately enjoined any place in the country. And we can all imagine the chaos that this will create in the lives of women, because this is not an abstract political issue for women that are seeking reproductive health care. It means that you are in the car to go and get the medication that you need, and you're now not sure whether you can. In fact, you probably can't. And that is devastating for people. So I hope that the Attorney General will act speedily and with alacrity to really go after this. And I think this judge in Texas is so extreme, and you can see the impact of these judicial appointments on women, not only in Texas, but all over the country.
Here's the thing I don't need to explain to you, but Kaczmarek is not an accident, right? I mean, when he was appointed in 2019, advocates, they warned of his willingness to bring his ideology, which you've outlined for us, to the bench. And the anti-choice movement, they have been actively working to seat judges like him and then to bring cases before these judges such that they are able to actually, in essence, legislate from the bench. I wonder then how you counter those efforts.
Well, I mean, this is exactly right. This is part of a coordinated strategy by extremists in the Republican Party to take away people's reproductive rights. And it is not an accident. It is being followed through on the courts, and it is being followed through also in legislatures all over this country. And it's, of course, ironic to me and painful to see that you have some of my Republican colleagues in the Senate who say, oh, abortion rights should be decided at the state level. They say that on the one hand, while on the other hand, they are showing the lie of that statement by working actively to advance abortion bans, both federally and through the courts and at the state level. So this is, it's devastating for women. It's one of the reasons why we need to continue to push to put into law the Protect protections of Roe versus Wade, but we understand that as long as Republicans can bar us from doing that in the Senate with the filibuster, we're going to have to keep fighting this out at the ballot box and in state legislatures across the country.